Hi everyone, educator for Malibu C and certified trichologist, and this is my Head Lab team member.
Hi guys, I am Erica Billingsley. I'm so excited to be here today with you guys. I'm a national brand educator for Malibu C, and we are in my salon here, Polaris Salon in Bourbonnais, Illinois.
Beautiful. So beautiful, great salon.
So we are so excited to talk about the Head Lab. What do we have going on today?
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the full process of Head Lab. Head Lab is something that you can incorporate into the salon with your existing clientele, or you can build a new clientele with it. Just depends on where you are in the career. So what we're going to do is we're always going to start with a conversation and a consultation. Now, when you're working with Head Lab, the conversation's a little bit different, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Like the questions have to be a little bit different. So instead of just asking, do you color your hair? What products do you use? We're gonna ask some more in-depth questions. So normally when I have a client come in, we actually do have a consultation form. I hand this to them so they can fill it out while I'm getting everything else ready, and then we discuss it. So that's how the process works for me in the salon. Now, when you read this, there's a lot of questions and stylists might go, oh my God, I don't have time to do that. It really takes minutes and it'll make a huge difference in the service. So Erica, how do you incorporate this into your services?
So usually when a client comes in, we just have an organic conversation. I'm kind of talking about their scalp as I'm scoping them. We just kind of bring in those questions. I like to go in and explain to the guest why I'm asking these questions and how important the consultation is to really tailor custom this service for them.
Absolutely. Guys, you have to realize that we all know that everybody's head is different, but there are two things that are the same. Everyone has a scalp and everyone uses water. So everyone who sits in the chair is going to have some sort of buildup on their hair. And it could be a person that has virgin hair that doesn't use styling product. They will still have buildup. They're called complex compounds, which means it's a combination. It's a combination from the minerals from the water. It's her skin cells, her oil, her sweat, all of those things together. The point is they shouldn't be there. You can't have healthy hair if you don't have a healthy scalp. So that's where Head Lab comes into play. We're really bringing the science to the scalp at a microscopic level.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the scope.
Super cool. So you guys, this tool, this is the Malibu C Digital Scope. So what this does is it magnifies what you're looking at on the scalp. Because we are trained as cosmetologists, as barbers, we're trained to look at hair first, where you actually need to go look at the scalp first. So using this tool, it is a Wi-Fi tool. It's not Bluetooth. It connects to your device, whether it be your phone or your iPad or tablet. I typically use an iPad and I have it sitting in front of the guest. So when I explain, we're gonna scope your scalp and I'm gonna do it in different sections. I'm actually going to follow a map. We're gonna see what I see at the exact same time here, and we're gonna take pictures so we have a before and after reference. And me being that I work in the trichology realm, I deal with a lot of hair loss. So making sure that I have the before and afters to be able to go back 3, 4, 5 months later to show, okay, this treatment is either working or it's not. And if it's not, that's okay. At least we know, and then we can pivot. So that's how it works for me in the salon. Do you do anything different with that process?
No, pretty much the same.
Same thing?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the map. So you guys, with the map, well, first let me go back. When you're looking at the scope, let me give you some tips. It says Malibu C. Malibu C should always be facing out. And the reason is because the button that you take pictures with is right on top. If the Malibu C is somewhere else, then you're fumbling to try to find where the button is. So there's your first cheat. Here's your second cheat. There are buttons on the back that will zoom in and out. I personally do not ever use these buttons. Do you use these buttons?
Never.
Never. So that's your second cheat. Here's your third. This makes the light dim and bright. I don't use that either. Do you use that?
Nope.
So leave it alone. When you guys are going in and using this, it can be intimidating to pick up a new piece of technology, right? Don't be afraid of it. When you get it, scope everything. I scoped my dogs, my kids, my furniture, you too?
Same.
Everything. Tattoos, all the things. So there's your info. Any other tip you want to add about this guy?
No, actually, you kind of hit all the points there.
So anytime this tool comes out for me, that means money. I actually first time ever, I just scoped someone on a beach when I was on a cruise. So you guys, that becomes a digital consultation. That means that I'm making money. It's passive income further from being behind the chair, right? So when you're looking at your business structure, trying to figure out what's next, especially if you're an older stylist and you just don't want to have the wear and tear on your body, consider this. It's super simple. So let's show them. Ready?
Exciting.
All right. So some of the questions though I'm going to go over with you is I'm actually going to focus more on your health than your hair. So tell me what vitamins you take.
Vitamin D.
Okay.
And then just like your basic women's multi.
Multi. Okay. Do you take any other supplements at all, like biotin?
No.
Okay. Are you on birth control?
No.
Okay. See, guys, a lot of times when you ask someone about their medications, they don't necessarily consider birth control a medication. I don't know why, but they don't. So they'll leave that off. The important part when you're dealing with the scalp and hair loss, of course, I need to know if you're on anything for your thyroid, for your heart, for your liver, for your stomach, but I really need to know what supplements you're putting in there. So after I ask you about that, I'm then going to ask, can I see your fingernails? Do you have any issues with your nails at all?
No.
So do they grow?
Yeah.
Do they split?
Mm-mm.
You don't have any ridges at all. So they grow, no concerns there at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay. The reason I ask that is because if your hair and your nails are misbehaving at the same time, it's systemic. If one is misbehaving and the other one is fine, then we're looking more topical here to figure out what's going on. So with that knowledge, then I know, okay, we don't have anything that I'm going to have to really combat, but then I want to know, is there any place on your head that you're having issues at all?
Oh, I get itchy like right here. Sometimes back here, but usually like just right in there.
Does the itch happen all the time, or is it certain months are worse than
Oh,
others?
it's a lot. And it's
It's
a lot.
Well, and Erica's her stylist, so you could talk to this more than I can. So is it consistent for her?
Usually, yes.
And does it spread anywhere, or does it stay regional, like just
Usually,
right here?
Jonna here has kind of communicated with me that it's usually kind of regional. It's just in the two spots that she kind of pointed out.
Okay. Are your hands there all the time because it itches?
A lot of the times, yes.
Do you sometimes find your hands there when you're not even thinking about it? It's subconscious, you
Absolutely.
go there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you tug on the hair at all in that area? Does it ever feel like you know when you have a ponytail up and you take it down and your hair just feels tight?
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah.
Does it feel like that ever?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. So you've got some tension going on the follicle itself. That's why it feels tired, so to speak. So we'll take a look at that too. But when we do the map, so the map is important because if you guys do a haircut or a color, you can tell the before and after. You know where the placement happened on the head. When you're looking at the scalp, everything's going to be magnified. It's all going to look the same. So it's really hard to get a good before and after if you're not following the same path. So we have a head map and it actually has 6 different placings. 1 is an inch in from their hairline on the top. 2 is an inch up from the ear on the left side, then an inch up from the ear on the right side. Then we're gonna come back to the crown. We're gonna then drop down to 5, which is the occipital. And then we add zone 6, which is all the way down at the nape. So at that point, then we'll have them, I'll go along the hairline because I wanna see if there's any interaction down here on the neck too that could be agitated actually from the clothes or fabric softener. So that's where the 6 zones go. So let's take a look. Okay, we're gonna look in zone 1 first. You're gonna see what I'm looking at the same time, and then we'll talk about what's going on. How frequently do you shampoo?
3 to 4 days.
Okay, what do you shampoo with?
I either use Malibu or another professional brand.
Okay. There's some new ones going on in here.
right there.
Yeah. Point to that follicle so we can see like that guy in there. You've got some buildup coming up on multiple sides. So when I'm talking about buildup, remember guys, it's a complex compounds. There is no way for me to be able to go in and say, okay, this is calcium or this is magnesium, because all of those things combine together. So letting her know, the bottom line is I see something that's there, it could be blocking the follicle, and we need to remove it. That's all that we need to discuss at that point. Now this hair right here, this is trapped underneath buildup. So there could be instances, there's one here too. There could be instances where people think that they have hair loss going on and it's not actually coming out. It's just trapped and you can't see it. So that would be zone 1. Let's go. Do you wear glasses at all?
No.
Okay. The reason I ask that is because have you ever seen somebody's hair oxidizes different here because of glasses?
Yes.
So I always ask if they wear glasses and what type of glasses.
There's always quite a bit, somebody that wears eyeglasses too in this area. There is a buildup, a significant buildup in this area.
So we've got some flake in there going on.
So how would you introduce this consultation into an existing color or cut client? And something you said earlier to me before the live was how you've really just built your book solely on this type of services. You're not even doing cutting or color or styling anymore. Tell us about that.
So for me, going back into the salon, I was in the corporate world for a long time, actually with Malibu Sea, and I really wanted to get into trichology. And I am one of the stylists that I've over the hill 40, so I'm looking at the next stage of my career, and I couldn't go back behind the chair and do color and do cuts all day long. It's too hard on my body. We all know how that goes, right? So really for me, I wanted to help in a different way. So the only thing that is on my menu is head lab. So when this happened and I had this idea, I actually called my stylist and said, we need to have a consultation night. Can you talk to all the other stylists and just see if anybody's dealing with hair loss and have them come in for a free consultation? So at this point, remember, I'm not in the salon. This is me just looking, trying to figure out how this would work. After scoping people, I did no services at all, but we sold out of the Malibu Sea everything. Undo goo basically flies off the shelf. But we sold through everything without a service being done just because they could see. So what's happened for me, and thank God, because I don't do well with social media. I know how important it is and how Erica can attest to that. I'm like, guys, the button's not working. It's bad. But I didn't have to. I didn't have to build. Everything started happening organically, and the stylists in the salon that didn't want to deal with hair loss didn't know how. Because you guys, I mean, let's face it, we go to school for a long time, but we learned this much about hair loss. So in the salon, I became that go-to, and you've become that go-to as a whole salon, right? Yes. So it's building for you too.
Definitely. I really think scalp health is so important. We all know this, but I feel like we're just in an industry, we don't talk about it enough. So once I started bringing this into my area, my salon here now is known as a salon that is focusing on the scalp and really offering these luxurious treatments. So it's really created a lot of revenue for me behind the chair. And also my retail products are flying off my shelf as well.
It really sets you up to win both places. So what happens in the salon for me is that they come in for a full consultation. At that point, we're sitting down, we're going through in-depth consultation, and then we're gonna scope. So I have a baseline for what we've got going on. When I talk to a client about going into a treatment plan with me, you're gonna be with me for 3 months minimum. The goal is to not need me anymore. So for me as a stylist, since I'm not cutting, I'm not coloring, other stylists feel comfortable sending me their clients because one, they don't know how to deal with the hair loss, and two, I'm not gonna poach your client. So you become a resource. All right, you got some red going on in there. Show me specifically where you have the issue. It's like right here. Look, she knows right where it is. She goes straight to it.
And oftentimes our clients do know that. You just have to ask them the right questions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
so
really irritated here.
yes. So guys, when you see a crack like that, that's called a fissure. When a fissure is on the scalp and you're putting a vitamin C technology on it, they're going to feel it. You're not going to experience like horrible, horrible pain, but it's the people who feel the tingle that need it the most. See how there's red all over the place? Okay, the red, that's actually called erythema. We're flaking there. So you've got some follicle trapped underneath, and you've got a casing going on right there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so what that means is that buildup is actually down in the follicle and it's coming up with the growth of the hair. That could be a bad thing just because it could choke some things out.
So in a situation like this, how do you kind of figure out like what is the diagnosis and like what are our next steps of choosing which treatment you're going to use?
Okay, so when I'm going into, and I'll speak for myself and then you can say how it goes. There's a lot of misconception with Malibu Sea, and people don't necessarily understand that Crystal Gel and Crystal Gel XL, that is the foundation of everything you do with Malibu Sea. So a lot of stylists, they'll pick this up and they'll pick up a scalp packet or a blonde packet. Those are maintenance packets. The Crystal Gel, that's like going to the dentist, getting a deep clean. The other guys, that's like brushing your teeth at home. Still important, still need to do it, but it's not gonna do what Crystal Gel does. So for her, being that we've got this much buildup, I'm automatically gonna go to the Head Lab Crystal Gel XL. And what makes that different, it's still got the same amount of vitamin C technology as the original, but it has 2 added ingredients. One, which is zinc, and zinc has a lot of really amazing properties. Zinc is used a lot with scalp care. So it's got zinc, which can be a healing factor. It actually helps give slip in this instance. The other new ingredient that's in there, it's not a new ingredient to us. It's bentonite clay, and that's the same as in CPR and DDL, and its job is to draw. So especially for her, we're gonna loosen everything up. That clay is gonna draw it to the surface, it's gonna absorb some of it, and then we're gonna shampoo it out. Because you guys, when you're talking chelating and clarifying, I don't know, well, you probably know because you and I think very similar. When I get the question about there's so many products on the market that do similar things, there's always the right tool for the right job. So it's never going to be, this product works, this one doesn't. It's really owning the responsibility of asking how. How does it work? Why does it work? So if I'm using a product that says it's removing minerals and medications, but it's a spray and I leave it on there, my question is, where does it go? We didn't remove anything.
Right.
You brought it to the surface and you left it there. So I like to explain to my clients, okay, we're gonna do the full detox, which means I'm gonna surface clarify with Undo Goo. I'm gonna take all the surface junk off. Then I'm gonna do the vitamin C treatment with the clay and the zinc. That's going to actually detox your scalp. Once we have everything out, we need to then go back and rebuild. So we'll do that with a protein-based conditioner that has menthol, which is gonna stimulate the scalp. And we'll take a look after to be able to show you that this is what it looked like before, this is what it looked like after. Sound good? And then we'll be able to track going forward. So I recommend they hit me every 4 weeks for 3 months minimum, and then we go from there. How do you usually book it and bring them in?
Let's take this combo to the bowl as well.
Yeah, so usually it's just custom tailored to that consultation that we talked about you earlier, and the scope. The scope's really what is going to sell the service every single time. I also want to mention, guys, that we know this is a lot of information, and we do have these resources available to you. The consultation sheet, we have the zone mapping sheet, all of that. So first and foremost, we've already scoped. We determined where we want to go with the service. So now we're going to actually perform it. So Missy, do you want to kind of give some insight onto how we're doing this?
Absolutely. So I just want to make sure I'm on I can actually see what you've got going on. So when we're looking at the tools that we're using, tools don't necessarily just mean your flat irons, your blow dryers, your heat source. Your tools are products that actually work in services that make you revenue. So looking at Undo Goo has a pH of 9. The reason why that's important is because vitamin C has a low pH. So when you're trying to normalize and neutralize, you need them to meet in the middle. The other important thing about Undo Goo that she's going to be using is that it has a very gentle surfactant. So it will remove surface resins without stripping the hair. It's got an amazing citrus scent. Most people absolutely love it when they smell it.
Yes.
Which is really, it plays into the whole head spa service too, because aromatherapy is a big part of relaxing.
Yeah, I think something you said earlier that was really interesting is talking about how to elevate these services and how you kind of introduce that extra TLC along the way, and what that does for building your books.
Absolutely. Anytime you can offer something that is different or new or, like you said, just a little bit extra, there's not a single person that would tell you no, you can't massage their scalp.
Right.
Like, so to incorporate that, and I know stylists, we get busy and we have a regular book and it's back to back to back, and sometimes we forget to do those little things, not on purpose, just because we're in a rhythm. So this actually makes you slow down a little bit, but the way that these services are priced, and because of the cost of the products you're using, it's got a high return on the investment. So you can take some extra time.
Yeah, let's talk about next steps in this service, and then I would love to circle back and touch on how you price this service, on the amount of time it costs, how you would kind of build that ticket as you incorporate more.
Guys, you can see too that you can see the steam coming off. She's using really warm water. Obviously you don't want to use hot water. You want your guests to be comfortable, but really making sure that the temperature is warm enough to get everything off and allow the hair to swell. That's important. So Erica, let's talk about the Crystal Gel XL and show them how to mix it and why it's in a different bottle.
All right.
So what she's got going on, I just want to wait till you have that open.
Oh,
Inside that bottle, there's an agitator ball. The reason that's important is because this is a clay-based product. So when you're mixing, it could clump. Now, for those of you who bake or cook, you guys know that when you're baking, you actually add your dry to your wet. So here's the tip with that too. Make sure you put your water in the applicator bottle first. Then you're gonna pour it in and she's gonna shake it. Because of that ball, there isn't going to be any lumps or bumps. Now, with the Crystal Gel XL, it is a larger packet. It's the equivalent of 3 of the originals. So that service-wise means that you're gonna make more money with one packet. So you can see that it's shaking up nice. And you guys, this bottle is great for mixing color, mixing anything in there. Toners is fabulous.
Yes, your liquid demi toners, it gives the best consistency too.
Yeah, it gives it a nice, not creamy, not fluffy, but it's like a nice smooth.
It's amazing.
So when she applies this is gonna go all over the scalp. Now, you do have the option to run it down the entire length of the hair if you feel that they need it. But this one was specifically designed scalp-centric, meaning that we're focusing on the scalp first. We do get the question sometimes, if you're using the HeadLab Crystal Gel XL, do you need to use the original on the ends of the hair? The answer is you could if you chose to, but you don't need to. You absolutely can pull this through. So see how she's going in and she's actually really massaging it in. Now, when people are doing crystal gels, something that I see a lot, and this causes a problem actually, Erica, you know when people rub it the wrong way and they get it to matte?
Yes.
Yeah, so can you, without doing it, can you demo what we don't want to do when we're massaging this in?
We don't want to really vigorously kind of scrub the hair and, you know, really kind of do this and kind of mess it up. You just want to kind of really massage using a push and a pull method. That bentonite clay is really, it's important to massage if your client during the consultation again can withstand massaging. It's going to go in the bentonite clay and it pulls and it draws the impurities out. And it also is going to exfoliate the scalp to really accept the treatments that we're going to be introducing it to.
Now, when you're rubbing on the end of the hair, a lot of people will go up the hair shaft, which causes the hair to mat.
Yes.
You do not want to do that. And with any of our treatments, you don't want to go up the shaft because think about it, you guys, you're trying to pull everything out. So the hair's in a vulnerable state. You don't want to rough it up too much.
Right.
The other thing too, so let me ask you, you have the spot is sensitive on your scalp. Are you feeling anything with this treatment on there?
Not right now.
Okay, so then you're comfortable. If you start to feel a tingle at all, then just let us know.
I have a very high pain tolerance too.
Oh,
so-
good. Then she's going to stick it out. She's going to go the full
Hey.
gamut.
You're like,
So
more.
She's like, all right. So guys, if somebody is feeling it, you don't want to avoid doing the treatment. You actually want to do it even if it's for a small amount of time. Because it's the people who are sensitive that actually need the vitamin C to get their scalp in a good condition. So for me, if she had said, I'm already tingling, I would say, okay, let's try to go 5 minutes. And if we can get to 5 minutes, great. We'll determine in 5-minute increments how long you can actually handle that.
Mm-hmm. There is a little tingle, but it's not bad at all.
So,
At all.
so you're feeling it. You're aware that it's there. If I hadn't asked you if you were tingling, would you have felt it?
I wouldn't have said a word.
Right?
When you bring it to their attention.
It's probably those little fissures that you pointed out earlier, right,
Yes,
Missy, that
yes.
she's
That's
feeling
where
that?
the area I'm feeling it too.
Yes. So I tell people when you do feel that, that means you are one that really did need this whole treatment. So let's talk about how we're going to process this. Guys, this can process a couple different ways. The way you decide how long to process is based on what the initial scope looked like. If she had a lot of buildup, then you would process for a longer period of time. If she has minimal buildup, you could actually get away with not using a heat source at all, just increasing the massage. So what Erica is actually using, this is the Spa Mist 2 from Takara Belmont, and this is considered an elite treatment. So it's a micro mister, it is not a steamer. The difference is if you're using steam, those water molecules are large. And so when they bounce off the hair, it's like somebody just knocking very slowly on the hair. With a micro mist, it's much finer and it actually vibrates the hair. So it allows the treatments to get in deeper.
This is so cool.
Isn't this awesome?
My clients love this part of the service, and I love the way it makes my client's hair feel, and also the shine that it gives to the hair as well.
Absolutely.
So I know you can use the spa mist, and you can also use other heat sources.
Yes.
You could skip the heat source. Will you kind of
Yes.
walk through that as well?
So if she had minimal buildup and we didn't actually need a heat source, I would actually just massage longer with the crystal gel. With the more buildup that they have, here's the cool part. We know that she has medium buildup, right? So what I would do, we've got her hooked up, she's gonna be processing, and then say in 10 minutes, come back, wipe off a section of the hair and scope it again. If the buildup is gone, you're done. So use the scope to determine how long you actually need to process. Now with the spa mist, the longest I've ever had to process was 20 minutes. You're the same?
Yes.
Now when you're using a traditional heat sources are great. They're absolutely fine. They're just going to take more time. But again, the scope is what determines how long that time should be. So don't freak out thinking you don't have time to do these treatments. That scope's going to tell you how long it's going to take. So if it's a roller ball, if it's a heat lamp, if it's a steamer, even a hooded dryer,
Yes.
As long as it's constant and consistent heat. And what I mean by that is it's the same temperature throughout the entire service. Because we do get people that ask, can I use a blow dryer? And that's not going to give you consistent results.
Right?
And you can hear this quiet. It's preheating at the moment.
Yes, it's very quiet. This is probably the favorite part for my guests too, because it's so relaxing and it just produces a nice warm mist for the guest. And it kind of adds to the luxurious part of this service.
So you'll watch this blow up. You'll actually be able to see it's vented.
Is there anything that you offer clients during the time that it takes for the treatment to process?
Oh, that's a good question. So yes, for me, when Malibu Sea came out with this, we were in the category with one of our partners with Head Spa. So Head Lab became the science. The spa part, you need to incorporate in different ways, the massage, aromatherapy. What I do is Malibu Sea does actually have a skincare line. So I will do a vitamin C mask on their face with a facial steamer while this is processing. So you get a full head spa treatment. So you could do anything that you want, any type of mask. You could just do a massage with it.
That's a fast way to boost your ticket
Oh
as
my
well. What
gosh.
does the pricing
Yeah.
difference for that look like?
Okay, so for me, and I'm from Indiana, you guys, so your prices are going to vary based on your demographic. So if I were just doing the Head Lab service, it's $75, and I only book a half an hour for this. What do you charge the same?
I
right?
also am $75, and usually start to finish, I'm probably at maybe 45, maybe an hour, depending on the styling and if I'm going to upcharge that as well.
So to add the head spa treatment, the facial treatment, think about it this way, you guys, it's not adding any processing time because she's already sitting there. But the price for that for me is $125, and it's still 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Without the time adjustment, that
Yeah.
is a huge
It's
upsell.
huge. So it's working smarter, not harder with what you already have. And hair, skin, and scalp is all the same. So it needs to be taken care of. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. They
Right.
don't realize that the scalp is actually skin and needs the same things. So I know some of our educators, they do hand massages. There is there's an attachment for the machine that you can actually do hand treatments.
Cool.
So yeah, I know one of our guys does that. There's a lot of different things that you could do to really up your ticket price. But what the key is the time management, making sure you're making the most money in the same amount of time. So that just boosts it for
So
me.
how much longer did we process here?
She's gonna process. Let's see, she's got her for 20. We should at least process for 10 and then come back and check it out.
Perfect. Catch you in 10.
Okay, so we just finished processing for 20 minutes.
Look at that. Whoa.
Isn't that cool?
Look at that come
The
on. It's like
mist.
a popcorn, like when it pops real big. Old people won't understand what I mean by that. Jiffy pop. So what we're gonna do is Erica's gonna wipe off a section of the hair, and I'm just gonna scope real quick here at the bowl to make sure that we got everything that we wanted to get off. So you guys, this is a really easy way to not necessarily cheat the system, but you could have processed for 10 minutes and then do what we're doing. So part that off for me, please. And we're gonna come in. Okay, so we got some removal going
Let's
on.
see.
So there's buildup on the hair, but it's not attached anymore. So when she shampoos this, all of that will actually be gone. So she is done processing. If we would have seen a lot going up the hair shaft, because the hair shaft looks bumpy when there's a lot of debris on it, this doesn't. So she is done. At that point, Erica would shampoo with Undo Goo. You guys, it is important to use Undo Goo because of the pH. The pH of a vitamin C product is very low. You need a high pH to get you back to neutral. So it's a porosity equalizer and neutralizes the vitamin C and gets you to a good level where the conditioning agents can do their job when she does the miracle repair.
So we're going to do that, and then we will meet you back at the chair for our final steps.
Yes, after she does the miracle repair. So let me touch on that real quick.
Okay.
So with the miracle repair, the reason that we use that one is plant-based, positively charged, which simply means it can't build up on the hair. It has menthol in it, which is the aromatherapy part of the service. And Erica's going to do a massage technique that's very important to get the blood flow going. When you're using mints, menthol, spearmint, peppermint, all of those guys, they're called vasodilators, which means that it just opens up the pores and helps the blood flow easier. So when Erica puts the hands in, then we're going to do a push-pull motion. So Erica, you can go ahead and show them even with the shampoo.
Okay.
So your thumbs go at the crown, your fingers go out, and you push down and pull up. Notice her fingers stay straight. She's not bending them like you normally would with a shampoo. Because what you're doing is you're pulling everything up, you're pushing it back. So you're just helping the circulation, helping the flow for her scalp.
This was a similar movement as to when you were doing the crystal gel treatment, correct?
Yes.
And then she can just move around the head. But while you're doing that, all of the debris that got removed from the scalp itself, now she's removing that. She's shampooing that out, so nothing is going to be left on the hair. You've got a lot of hair.
She does.
Let's really quickly just revisit as a recap for people that are just tuning in, how long this service is from start to finish.
Start to finish, for me in the salon, I only book for 30 minutes. That is because we've got the consultation really hammered down, and going in, I generally will process for 10 minutes and check. So I'm never processing more than 20 minutes. And I don't particularly style out, and that's not where my skill set is. So I don't style out like Erica does, which is why the time difference happens. So I'll give you a rough dry and get you to the point that you look okay leaving the salon, but nothing too spectacular. So 30 minutes for me. So that's the Miracle Repair with menthol. So it has added ingredients in it as well. Miracle Repair has been around for a long, long time. And you guys got to remember, we remove the minerals and it creates potholes in the hair. So we've got to put it back. We've got to put something back to make sure the minerals don't reattach. And that's what Miracle Repair does. It only bonds where it has a partner. So the massage comes into play here. It does have a menthol smell. It's got shea butter in it, so her hair is going to be beautiful and shiny. It also has a product called Hydroxy Shield. And here's the cool thing about that. That gives you heat protectant for up to 10 shampoos. So think about that, guys. Those of you who only shampoo every so often, but you use your flat iron or a blow dryer to go over your curls or your hair, if you're using the Miracle Repair with menthol or the leave-in conditioner mist, you're gonna have heat protection for up to 10 shampoos. So super cool.
And you're doing that similar movement right now.
Yes, the push and pull. It's important to really relax the guests. This is usually the guest's favorite part because it's very stimulating, very relaxing to them. But you want to relax that scalp so the scalp can actually accept what we are putting on it. Because a tight scalp will not accept everything we need it to.
So Erica, how do you build this out into your, how long are you booking for this type of service? How are you building it into your other services?
So I'm usually at 45 minutes to an hour, just depends on the style, if we're incorporating that or not. Also based on that consultation that we did in the beginning. If I'm doing, because you can color the same day with this service, depending on the guest's sensitivities. I've always colored with it and never had any issues. So I'll build it into that as well.
Let me pipe in there though. When you're going to do a color service in the same day, you would wait to use the Miracle Repair until after the color.
Yes.
You wouldn't want to do it before the color.
Absolutely.
Same thing with a perm. You can absolutely do that in the same day as well. Keratin treatment, all of those. So don't think they have to have multiple days. And when you remove the minerals and medication and the buildup on the hair, the process you're going to do next is actually going to process faster. So you're not adding extra time there. You're actually recouping some time because you did it.
And if you guys noticed too, a few minutes ago when I was pulling the product out of the hair, you may have seen that the product was discolored, kind of the color of her hair. That's because we haven't given Jana a crystal gel service in a while here. So what you're actually seeing is some of the color being removed with our product, the Crystal Gel XL. Not that the Crystal Gel XL is removing it, but Jana had a substantial buildup. She has some hard water at home. So essentially that color that we've applied to her hair is just sitting on top of a barrier. So that's what you were seeing being released there. So what I love about doing these services is that it's also going to prep the hair and take care of the scalp. So that when we do a color, like Missy said, it's going to process quicker, more evenly, and also you're going to have better color longevity with it as well.
Especially those clients who struggle lifting.
Yeah.
You're not going to get stuck in that really crappy big wiggle inch phase.
Nope.
All right. I'm going to bring her back to the bowl and do an after.
Okay. Let's go show you what's real now. How's your scalp feel, Jonna?
Great.
Super clean.
Super clean. That's awesome.
Yes.
I've had people say it feels like it's breathing.
Yeah,
Like I can
yeah.
actually feel it. So when we're going to scope and do the after, we're going to follow the exact same map because that's how you get, again, your before and afters. And then we'll check out the spot that she had some issues with. So you notice I'm not drying all the way. And the reason that you want to scope this wet is because as soon as you start adding heat and you're manipulating, you're actually changing the structure of the hair. So we want to make sure that we get the cleanest read possible. So we're doing it right after, following in the same place. All right, here we go.
I also love that you're scoping throughout the process. It's not just the beginning and the very end, like by bringing it to the bowl and really showing how you can follow along and keep track of the work that you're doing.
Yes. So what we're looking at here, guys, see how it's shiny? There's actually some shine going on. Let me focus that in more. And there are no flakes anywhere. The buildup that was on the hair shaft is gone.
That's amazing results after just one
Just
session.
once, yeah. So for me in the salon, I tell you that we need to do 3 because we need to get your hair to completely cycle. And so it's going to be progressively better. But the thing about doing repeated treatments is the timing goes down if they stay on a regimen. So yeah, so see how you can see the rings around the follicles? That's good. You couldn't see that before there was buildup there.
Do clients ever ask for their photos, and at the beginning of a second or third session, do you revisit the initial photos?
I do because I only deal with hair loss and scalp issues. So I actually just had one ask me last week, so I put all of her photos from the past 6 months in a collage. So it's a really powerful tool when you can show it. I mean, think about it. In the industry as a whole, has a company ever given you a tool and said, here, see if our product actually worked?
Yep. You're actually able to show your guests now in real time the results that Malibu Seed can give you with this treatment. Also with before and after photos, I always send my guests home. I'll message them their befores and their afters and make a split kind of side by side before and after. They're so excited with this treatment that by me sending them those images, they will show people, they'll put them on their social media pages, and it really sells the service as well.
And guys, when you have this scope, I literally have it in my bag at all times. And so when people, even at airports, just ask, well, what do you do? Then we have the conversation, well, this is what I do. And they're like, oh, I have this going on my scalp. And I'm like, well, let's take a look. So anytime this scope comes out.
I've carried mine as well in my purse just to, if you're at a party and you start
Yeah.
talking about the treatment and they're like, let me show you.
All right, I'm going to go to the spot. Put your finger exactly where your spot is. See, look, she goes right there.
She knows.
Now, something to really remember, guys, as cosmetologists and barbers, we are not allowed to diagnose. We do not diagnose. So what I will do is if I see something that's abnormal, I will take the pictures, I will send it to the client, and I will tell them to go take it to the doctor. And we've caught quite a few things actually that way. So see, that was really red before, and it had buildup going up the scalp, going up the hair shaft right there. So we've also, there we go. So this is going to take a couple treatments right here, but just to show you that loosened everything up. So what she's going to need to do now is maintain at home until she comes in again for another treatment. And it's just going to keep getting better and better and better.
Just the results from that one treatment though right here in this spot
huge.
has been significant.
There we go.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you both for sharing so much powerful information today.
Absolutely, we love it. You guys, incorporate this with what you do. So add it extra like Erica does, or reinvent your career like I did. It's easy to do either way. But Malibu C is here as a support. We do have an academy, so you can get all the education there and get certified. Because every time you get certified, you guys, that should change your service dollars.
Definitely.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for
guys.
tuning in.